thanks for having me, and it's appreciated that you've all shown up this morning to learn a little bit more about Kings and to learn a little bit more about Western as well. Given that, as you alluded to, that we're living in different times and hoping for better times and a new normal coming ahead in the new year. Also the challenges of recruiting students across an ocean from each other. I like to start with this video because it gives you a nice opportunity to see a little bit of our campus, but also to hear from some of our leadership and, more importantly, from our students about their experiences.
Kings is the best of both worlds. Kings is like coming to a small town where everyone is friendly, everyone's warm, everyone's welcoming. And when you come in as someone new to the community, you're totally embraced. So it's just a wonderful place and a comfortable place to come and go to school.
I loved being a student at King's. One of the things that originally attracted me here was the small campus. I knew all my professors, I knew most of the people in my class, and walking across campus was just comfortable.
When your class sizes are only 15, 25 people, it's very easy to find someone who's like-minded as you. It's also very encouraging. You can raise your hand, ask questions for the prof in the middle of class, whereas a larger campus, it would be quite daunting to ask questions in a room full of 100 students.
First, as an international student, I don't have my parents here, so with my friends, it made me feel like I'm at home, and I always hang out with them, and they make you feel better, like you don't feel by yourself here in a different country.
Well, Kings, as you know, played a very large role in developing my career, personality, and just those interpersonal relationships that are very valuable in today's real-life conditions. I think the opportunity to interact in a more personable manner with faculty, staff, and my colleagues during my time at King's really gave me the confidence to hit the ground running.
King's University College is a place to be and a place to become. Please come and join us.
This is the world's first reusable cotton swab. It removes up to 5 times.
We're back here, but throughout that video, I hope you really got a sense of what makes King's a special place. Our tagline that you'll see on a lot of our recruitment materials that we share with you is a place to be and a place to become, because we really believe that King's is a place where students, particularly international students, quickly come to feel part of a community. But it's also a place where we really foster their growth intellectually and their growth as people and citizens as well. So I know all of you have some familiarity with recruiting for Canada, but when we do speak to agents, we like to highlight some of the points that we share with students. Sometimes it's just helpful for you to pick up on some of the language we use, and we have the same benefit when we talk to you as well, that we get a better sense of what students are looking for and how you help explain Canada to them. So we find when we're talking to international students, often this idea that Canada is a large country geographically, second largest in the world, but has a relatively small population, kind of makes sense to them. We're a big space and we've got room for more people, so we're a very welcoming country. When you compare us to other countries, I think we have comparatively liberal immigration policies, and we're definitely very welcoming of international students. It's a country that you can reassure, particularly families, parents, that is safe and that their students will get a really high quality education in Canada. It's a strange higher education system. It's really 10 different higher education systems within the country, but within each of our provinces, it's a very well-regulated higher education system. So it's difficult for students to make a bad choice when they're choosing a post-secondary institution in Canada. Now, for those of you who do recruit to Canada, you may not recruit to London or to the university or college here, Western and Fanshawe. So in terms of London, as I say, when you think of Canada, you may be thinking of bigger cities like Vancouver, Montreal, Toronto. But I think that international students, at least the students who've come to us, tell us that they really kind of like being in a medium-sized city. It's large enough that it has all of the things that students would be looking for in a city. It's on major transportation corridors. We have a good public transit system, world-class hospitals, world-class university, but also small enough that it's still a place that's easy to navigate. When you come to a new city or a new country, it doesn't feel too overwhelming. And it's still got a little bit of that small town charm as well. It's a place where people are pretty friendly to each other, and it's pretty easy to get around. Campus itself is really nicely located right in the center of the city. So it's about a 5-minute bus ride for students one way to kind of our main commercial area where the malls and big box stores and chain restaurants are, and just 5 minutes the other way to this area here that you see in the photo, which is our downtown, where a lot of the quaint shops and sporting events and festivals are. You can also see here that it is a beautiful city. We're known for the Thames River, which runs through the city, and the tree-lined streets and pathways that run throughout the city. So also nice for students that if they're coming to the city, they know they can use public transit. They can hop on those walking or cycling paths to get around easily as well. Campus itself within London is very beautiful. It's a self-contained campus, meaning everything that's happening within our university is focused on student learning and research. So it really is a community of scholars where students are surrounded by an environment that really values education and other people who are going through the same thing that they are, trying to learn and develop themselves. The other thing I'll say about that is it's nice for students that they don't have to worry about going to different parts of the city or across busy city blocks to get from class to class or from their residence to class. Everything is nicely close together for them. So you gave me a nice introduction to begin with, which is how exactly does this idea of a university within a university work? What we like to tell students, I think a key line that you can take away, that we ask students to take away from our presentations, is the idea of the best of both worlds. And what that means in this context is that we're giving students all of the advantages of going to a large, prestigious Canadian university, but in a smaller living and learning environment. So they get the good things that go along with a large environment. Most importantly, they're earning the Western University degree. It's a degree that if they were to move out of London after they graduate, maybe go back home, Western has recognition. People know that you had to have strong academic achievement to earn that degree. Western, being one of the larger universities in our province, also offers students a lot of choice in terms of programs and courses as well. And finally, Western's really well known for its student experience. So students at King's have the option to participate in any of the student activities at Western, use any of the facilities there, be part of any of the extracurricular activities as well. What we offer that is really special, though, is kind of another community within the university. So we are a small campus of about 3,500 students. We're a little bit secluded from the main campus. We're just right across the road from Western's main campus, about a 5-minute walk away. And we really focus on undergraduate learning in the social sciences and the humanities. I've been fortunate in my career. I get to talk to a lot of international students who've come to King's, and without fail, the two words that I most commonly hear are community and care. So first, in terms of community, I think naturally it's in part related to our size. We're about 3,500 full-time students on a campus that's probably about the size of 4 football fields. So students notice that they're in close proximity to each other. They keep on bumping into people who live in their residence or in their classes. Their classes are a little bit smaller, so they come to meet the other students in their classes quite quickly. They find they keep on having a lot of the same students in the classes over and over again. And we believe that enhances the academic experience, that students have a certain level of confidence or engagement that they may not have in a larger class because they know some of the people. They're not as intimidated to raise their hand and ask questions during lecture or contribute something to the learning that's happening. They also have close relationships with our faculty as well. So we find that our faculty, because of those smaller classes, are really able to interact with students and tailor their lessons to the level of comprehension in the class. They have familiarity with students' research interests, how they're doing in the classes. Surprisingly to our students, the profs always know their names within a week or two of class starting. So the profs really are what we call teacher scholars. Yes, like any university, we're trying to get people who are experts in their field, world-class scholars, and we certainly do that. But we're also putting an equal emphasis on trying to find people who really like interacting with students and have strong teaching skills. So that's the community piece. We're going to come back to that care piece here in a couple of minutes. The other thing I should mention about those small class sizes, average class size in first year is 53 students. That number gets progressively smaller in each of second, third, and fourth year. Third and fourth year classes, mostly less than 25 students. Smallest class I ever had at King's was 9 students. So by the time we're getting to those third and fourth year classes, it's really nice for students that, if you found a subject that you love, that you're dedicated to, you have a professor who's dedicated their career life to understanding that topic, and you get to work very closely with them to enhance your knowledge and skills as well. So here's a full list of the programs that we offer at King's. As I mentioned, it's what we call in North America, and I think what they call in Europe as well, a traditional liberal arts college model. So it is a university degree that students are earning, but we're focused on the traditional disciplines in the social sciences and the humanities. You can certainly see many of those traditional disciplines on this list, but then we also have some unique programs as well that are either interdisciplinary or programs that are just unique to us within Canada sometimes. So see the traditional disciplines here. A couple of unique programs to us within Canada are some of our interdisciplinary programs. Our programs like Child and Youth Studies, Disability Studies, Social Justice and Peace Studies, Thanatology, which is the study of grief and bereavement. We're one of a few schools in our province that offers both the bachelor and the master's in social work. You can see we have 4 different areas of concentration in business, and we do have the internship programs available within those business programs as well. So that's an opportunity for students typically in third year to take a term or 2 terms away from their studies for a work placement that we help facilitate that they're paid for. So a nice opportunity for students to network and get some experience during university. The other program that you see there is Finance and Wealth Management. That's a collaborative program with Fanshawe College in London. And it's a unique opportunity for students because they're earning in 4 years what would typically take them 5+ years to earn in Canada. So they are earning a 3-year degree in financial economics and a 2-year college diploma in wealth management. For people who are interested in going into wealth management advising careers, they're getting that 5 years of credentials in 4 years, plus a number of other certifications that students need to be in wealth management careers in Canada. So at the end, I think this is something that when we get into the interactive session, if you have any specific questions about any of these programs, I'd be happy to take any questions there. So in terms of English proficiency, typically we are looking for students to demonstrate English proficiency through an English proficiency test. The two most common ones that we see are the IELTS and the TOEFL. The IELTS, we're looking for a minimum score of 6.5 with no component less than 6.0. And for the internet-based TOEFL, we're looking for a minimum score of 85 with no component less than 20. And you can see here there's a few acceptable tests that the university accepts. The other thing you see here is that if you have students who you think may not meet the minimum English proficiency requirements on a test, we do have some bridging programs through a number of partners as well. So those are programs ranging from 8 weeks online to full year programs on campus in London that students can participate in. So if you find yourself in that situation, that's something that CEI or us are happy to advise on what some of those bridging options may be for students. And there again, you just see a list of some of those partners and some of those options that we have for students, again, ranging from 6 weeks to 8 months. One thing that we're really proud of at King's is that we are able to give comparatively generous scholarships for a Canadian university. You can see here that the averages typically start at a lower threshold than most other Canadian universities for higher values and are automatic and guaranteed as well. So just for applying to King's, getting the marks and accepting their offers, students are automatically given this money and don't have to complete an application to earn it. This is really the chart that you want to focus on for international students. You can see here just for a base funding package, just for being admitted, students from Indonesia would earn $8,950 off of their tuition in first year. And depending on their marks, that can go up to about $12,500 Canadian off their tuition in first year. And if students are able to maintain an A average in university studying with us, then we'll give them additional scholarships, again, guaranteed in second, third, and fourth year in these amounts. So for maintaining that A average in university, at least $8,000 off tuition in each of second, third, and fourth year. And higher their marks are, the more money that they would get in the continuing scholarship. So when I started the presentation, I talked a little bit about how King's is known for community and for care. I want to come back to that piece about care, and particularly about how we care for international students. We were one of the early universities in Canada to begin internationalizing. I think it was a recognition of how much international students bring to our classrooms. We really do believe that the best learning happens when we have people from different backgrounds and experiences coming together to talk about ideas. It's also related to our mission. We think that the way that we achieve peace in the world and develop mutual understanding is by having people come together from different backgrounds and realize just because they have disagreements on certain things, it's possible that they agree on much more than they disagree on. And we want our students to really be prepared for life, that just because we have a disagreement with someone doesn't necessarily mean that we don't like them or that we can't be friends. And we want our students to learn to have respectful disagreements. We also want them to see the opportunity when they disagree with someone to learn something from that person and maybe realize that they were the one who didn't initially have things correct. So I digress a little bit, but that was kind of why we started internationalizing about 20 years ago, a little bit earlier to it than other Canadian universities. And I think the point of that is that we've learned a lot about how to support international students over those 20 years. We've had a lot of great feedback from them, and we've had 20 years to developing our programming and support for international students. So we have an international office, which is well staffed, that does programming and support for international students all the way through the application process up to graduation and into career support. We have the Bridging Week, where students come to campus a week early before the domestic students get settled in. We show them where the grocery store is, how the public transportation works, where the hospital, medical clinics are. If they need to set up a bank account, show them how to do that. Give them a chance to meet each other and get comfortable before we begin to integrate them in with the rest of the students when they arrive. We also have somebody on staff who's certified to provide visa advice and support to students. And I know that's something that our applicants have been very appreciative of as well before in the past. Aside from that, at King's, because we are a smaller institution within a larger institution, we know that a lot of our reputation depends on the experience that students have with us and what they go on and tell their friends and families, people in their careers after they graduate, about their experience at King's, and also by the great things that our students go on to do in their careers and do in their lives. So what we try to do is give students all the supports that they need outside of the classroom to have success inside the classroom. So everything from career counseling, academic counseling, personal counseling, pastoral counseling, free writing support, free math support, academic mentoring programs, learning skills workshops, all types of different things that we provide students to try to make sure that they're getting the most out of their academic experience with us. I'd just like to pause for a minute. I've been doing a lot of talking, and I just want to give you a chance here to hear from some of those international students about what their experience at King's has been.
My first impression at King's was like, it's like a small community. It was important for me to make connection in different part of the world. It's because I think the human's nature is about social. We socialize in here, we socialize in another country, it doesn't matter. We learn the ability to connecting with other people.
It's amazing because I just feel like I should always belong here.
King's is a great place. It gave me an opportunity to feel confident.
So I felt a small community was really the best thing for me, where like I could like focus on my school and study at the same time.
Oh, the atmosphere, it made it feel like it was home. A small knit community, just like Bermuda. And the scenery is just great. And the people are just lovely.
Okay, you know it must be a lovely campus when our students from Bermuda are commenting on how lovely the scenery and the campus is. That's definitely reassuring for us, and I hope you pick up on some of that throughout the presentation. You pick up on some of the images of campus and just what a beautiful experience it is for students. So in terms of the application process, We do pride ourselves in providing great care to students, but we do pride ourselves in providing great support to our partners and agents as well. So for our agent partners, we do have an internal application, which means that your students who are just applying to King's can apply to us free of charge. And we prioritize the processing of applications for our international partners and for agents. So when we receive a completed application, we will turn that around to you very quickly, at the most 10 business days, but frequently more quickly than that. We'll have a decision for the student, either whether we can give a conditional offer, a final offer, and in some cases we may need to wait for additional information if they're still in progress and their marks aren't high enough yet. So after a student applies, we are going to send an acknowledgement letter within 2 business days and copy the agent, letting you know any documents that we need to be able to assess the application. That's typically a high school transcript, proof of English proficiency. And once we have those documents, we're able to do our assessment. It's important to watch for that acknowledgement email and to make sure that any documents that we're requesting that you're providing, once we have all of the documents that we've requested, it is a quick turnaround time. We like to do that because we like to give peace of mind to you and the students and give them lots of time to make their decisions. We also realize that students need to do things like apply for their visa or make travel plans or plans for accommodation potentially when coming to Canada. So it's important to us, just as it's important to you, to quickly get students those decisions. There are lots of ways to stay connected with King's. You can follow us on these social media channels. We certainly encourage you to do that. It's a nice way to kind of keep up to date on a daily basis on what's happening at King's on a live basis in terms of our research and our teaching. Certainly encourage you to reach out to us at any time as well. We are very happy to support you. You make it possible for us to have international students join us, and we know how much they bring to our community. So we're very supportive of your work, and basically our job is making sure that you have what you need to support your recruitment. Also, a nice thing you can check out is our virtual tour. We have a virtual tour where you can go and look through all of the buildings on campus and take a look around outside, and certainly our website provides lots of materials as well. The last thing I'll mention too is we're very happy to send out recruitment materials. If there's program-specific information or a print view book would be helpful, images for things like posters, our business cards, anything that we can do to support your work, we're very happy to provide you with. So I just want to thank everyone again for joining me. I know we have a little bit of a smaller group tonight, so the presentation has been a little bit shorter, but I'm hoping that'll leave us some time, a little bit extra time here to answer some of the questions that you may have about King's.